Derick Giwner back with Matt Rose to discuss Scioto Downs for Friday, August the 19th. It's a huge card of wagering with two $100,000 invitationals and plenty of Ohio Sire Stakes action as well. DRF Bets is offering a special 10% rebate on exotic wagering that you'll want to take advantage of. There's access to free PPs on the page. We'll have the live video of the entire card, and we're going to take a look at the two featured races. Starts in race number 12, the $100,000 Send It In. And this is a pretty strong field they got lined up here, led by the morning line favorite, Working on a Mystery, assuming you think he's going to be the favorite, because I think Charlie May is going to take quite a bit of action here, Matt.
Yeah, Charlie May will take money, but it'll definitely be lower than that 9-2 on the morning line. But I don't know. I mean, I guess post position comes into play, and Working on a Mystery, you would think, would have a tactical advantage, and therefore maybe deserves slight favoritism on the morning line. But yeah, I mean, it's a competitive race, and certainly nobody betting this race should take anything under, I would think 8-5 or something like that at any horse. So and 10 horses with a trailer always makes for some interesting action. So yeah, I mean, it should be a good race, and there should definitely be some good value coming out of it.
Yeah, I mean, why don't we take a look at a replay here, and we're going to take a look at Charlie May winning the Charna, and you see Brett Miller's on the outside here, and he's kind of going after him, chasing him. And I was talking to trainer Steve Carter, and he said once this horse clears, he gets really lazy and he starts waiting on horses, and you got to keep going after him.
Yeah, I mean, well, you see him being urged along here, but he went a long trip, starting from the second tier, so you knew you'd have to be on the move early when he got flushed out, and he came up alongside a very well rated Heart of Chewbacca, who's a decent horse in his own right, and basically when Brett Miller pressed the button down the backstretch, he just took off and was. I mean, that's a huge back 3/4 that he raced on a half-mile track, and it just shows how ridiculously sharp this horse is. And now it shouldn't be quite as hard now, I guess, with him going 3 turns instead of 4 turns on a 5/8. And I mean, if you want to talk about the sharpest horse coming into this race, Charlie May's right up there at the top of the conversation.
Yeah, and that's where I ended up landing as my top pick here is going to end up being Charlie May. I just feel like he's coming back into form. And if you look at he went through a couple of dull races, but he started off really good. He went into a little bit of a, dull spur, maybe facing horses like Bulldog, Hanover will do that to you, and then after that, he's right back where he needs to be now, as far as I'm concerned. I don't think the post really worries me because he's already shown that he can take some air. So for my money, if we can get 2-1, 5-2 on him, I think he's a good play in this field, because you don't have those, the number 1 and number 2. You might have the 3, 4, and 5s in this race.
Yeah, obviously we don't have the big, the Bulldog and the Rocky Road in this race, which bumps Charlie May up the ladder a little bit. And he, when the Ohio precincts start checking in on Charlie May, and being a local Ohio favorite, he'll probably end up being a little bit undervalued. And what happens is that leads to value on other horses, which is why I kind of went in a different direction. And I'm looking at Tattoo Artist, who has you're picking up Dexter Dunn tonight, has a ton of gate speed, has to be firing off the gate, and he in my mind, with his early speed and then the chance to set up a live trip near the front, perhaps in the pocket if Working on a Mystery goes, or if Charlie May is aggressive and goes early, he may set up with a winning trip at what could be an okay price. The outside post doesn't really scare me that much because we know he can fly off the wings of the gate. So I'm actually leaning against Charlie May, leaning against Working on a Mystery, take a stab with Tattoo Artists, and like I said, hopefully not roughed up too early and trips out.
Are you at all worried that there might be too much early speed inside of him? Because Charlie May's probably going to leave the 6. He's a wise guy. Seems like he leaves every week. Goldie's Legacy has shown speed. red right hand obviously is there too much speed inside that, maybe he can't just gun to the front?
Sometimes we say that, oh, there's so much speed, and the gate opens and there's not a ton of speed. But I think tattoo artists might have the strongest turn of speed off the gate, and maybe capable of looping some of the other horses, or maybe as soon as they get open, some of the other drivers, change course or change their strategy and grab up or take up. I mean, we're not going to have 9 horses gunning off the gate, although that'd be kind of cool to witness. But you know what? I just think he has enough speed to clear. And listen, like I said, they're not all going to leave. Heart of Chewbacca might not be interested in the front after really disappointing in his last start when he was raiding on the front end. Maybe he's not interested on the front. Dave Miller working on a mystery. Maybe he's not interested on the front immediately, but wants to drive up, and take command at some point during the race. And same thing with Charlie May. So I'm not entirely concerned with tattoo artists not being able to, see the front and then hopefully yield to, just one horse and being able to trip out. But we know what he's capable of. And I think with this being kind of, like you said, the second flight of the top 8 horses, I think he goes with these.
All right, so Matt's going to try Tattoo Artist. I'm going to try Charlie May. We're both going to try and beat the morning line favorite Working on a Mystery. And we're going to move on to race number 13, which is the $100,000 Cleopatra Invitational. And it's another field of 10. And this is a really strong group led by the 10 Test of Faith, who's basically the divisional leader.
She is the divisional leader. And you know what? She landed another tough spot here. I mean, she's mostly an off-the-pace commodity anyway, and obviously she can come up with any trip she needs and she can grind. But second tier can always be tricky, and she's coming off a loss in a race that people didn't think she was going to lose. So there's that too. So how short of a price do you take on her? I mean, I for one, know I'm going to try to beat her. I tried to beat her at the Meadowlands. I came up with the wrong horse, but I'm going to try to beat her again here as what undoubtedly. Well, I don't see odds-on favoritism necessarily, but definitely will be the favorite in here.
Well, 5 of these raced recently in the Lady Liberty. It was Test of Fate's last race, and we're going to take a look at the Lady Liberty here, which took place at the Meadowlands. Test of Faith is going to be second over here, and is going to end up getting run down in the stretch by a very fast late Kobe's Gigi.
Yeah, Kobe's Gigi, who wasn't even on my radar coming into this race, and he didn't deserve. She didn't deserve to be. She was 50-1. You see, Test of Faith, do all the right things, take the lead, and then Kobe's Gigi, who was used early to get to the front, and then used, searching for room, and then made a right turn sharply, and then was able to still sustain that run and run down the odds-on Test of Faith. I mean, now at 50-1, that was just super impressive. And then we saw what happened last week. She goes to Hoover. She's in a decent invitational field. She's odds-on, put on the front end, and gives way. So where does that leave us tonight? I think Brett Miller may look for a slightly off the pace trip again, and I think we'll get good value on a horse that very quickly has proven that she can go with these. And I think people might read too much into last week's race at Hoosier and forget that miracle run at the Meadowlands. So I'm actually leaning in her direction tonight at a very juicy looking 7-1 on the morning line.
Yeah, I really can't fault you there. I didn't like her at all last time, at Hoosier. I just thought it was a bad spot where she was going to be bet way too heavy, and it was a time to go against her. Now when you're going to get a better price, she looks a little bit more appetizing. I went a little bit of a different way here with the 3 Grace Hill, and I know she says 5-1 on the morning line. I guarantee you're going to get a lot more than 5-1 come post time on this horse. And I feel like there's some interesting things working in her favor here. I mean, her last start was spectacular. Granted, she was 1-9 and she was supposed to destroy them, and she did. It was her first start at a new barn. I don't know if she's just in the new barn while she's out here or not. I'm not sure. But what impressed me is that she pulled away, and she pulled away impressively. And horses run off confidence sometimes, you know, and I think this is one of those kind of confidence building wins that could really get her back on the right track. If you look last year, she was one of the top horses in the sport as far as 3-year-old fillies, you know, and now she comes back this year and things haven't gone her way. She's been in some bad spots. You see 2 starts back, she had post 10, had absolutely no shot, you know, outside post at Plainridge from post 6, didn't work out. She lost to the horse, I believe, lost to Lion Sentinel, who had the inside post position, had the rail. So I just think things have not gone her way. I think she's going to be a big price in here, and maybe she's on the upswing because she's a good horse that just, you know, hasn't had the right things. And just to mention Lion Sentinel, obviously Lion Sentinel is going to be the second choice here, I think, and has a big shot. Normally driver Tim Tetrick is here, and he's at the Meadows driving 2-year-olds, so not going to be here for that assignment.
So you get Matt Kakaley subbing on Lion Sentinel. You get Dexter Dunn on your top pick, Grace Hill, who, you know, does it hurt the price a little bit? Yeah, but I can see where you're coming from with kind of like the sharp horse rounding into, you know, this is maybe her, like the phrase, like the start of her form cycle. In my opinion, although I didn't use her in my top 4, I can see where you're coming from. Where like maybe right now is the time to jump on board. You say it's a confidence builder, and maybe a Test of Faith losing, you know, her last start kind of works the same way, where she loses a little bit of confidence. You know, who knows? I don't know how these horses think, but we are in agreement with one thing, is that we're going to try to beat the likely favorite, the Test of Faith. You know, we're going 2 different directions. I see you pick Gia Surreal for third. It's another potential speedball with Aaron Merriman, who loves generating speed. I went on the bottom of my ticket, Snobby Town, who whenever Ron Burke has a horse in one of these races, and he always does, they always deserve a mention, you know, and she's been doing great things locally, and you have a top local driver in Chris Page. I think she can sneak in a ticket at a price too, but you know what? I guess we're looking the same way, beat Test of Faith. Hopefully we do, and we'll see which one of us comes out on top.
Yeah, we're both hoping for a little bit of traffic for her from the second tier. It's a really good card of racing at Scioto. Remember, it's a 3:15 first post time on Friday, as it is every day. 10% rebate on exotic wagers on DRF bets. You can check out the site, drf.com/harness. There's a banner right at the top. You click it, you can pick up some free PPs. You can watch the entire card live. It should be a really good day of action, and good luck.